This is the longest overdue discussion we're ever going to have. Who started the low riding culture? Many would say black culture, but Mexican Americans have claimed this culture. Now, I looked it up, and it says the oldest car club was in the 1930s, right? That's a good year. Remember that. So I looked it up, and it said the Dukes started theirs in 1962. Okay, that's pretty cool. In Southern California. All right, pretty good. Now, I couldn't find their photos of a 1930s Cadillac, but I could find ours. So I dug a little deeper, and the term lowrider was first used by police in the 1960s as a derogatory term for young black people who were causing trouble, quote unquote. Then when you look further, it say it started in 1950s, early 1950s in San Diego. That takes me back to the Zoot Suits. Remember how I came from Harlem and then y'all claimed it in LA? Okay. Again, I tried to look for these people and their cars of the lowriders, and I couldn't find any, but I can find ours, right? Unless I'm forgetting something here, because remember, it said it started in the 1930s. So you have to remember who was classified as what back then. And please remember that these two races never got along, so we didn't have anything to gain by you integrating into our neighborhoods. We didn't have to copy anything you did. This brings me back to this movie called Halls of Anger, where in Los Angeles, a school of 3,000 colored black kids were bombarded by 60 white kids suddenly being integrated into their schools. Now, that's just really crazy, right? Because when you think about the classification back then, what were they? Right. It was only colored and white back then. So when you think of this, which by the way, this is the first movie that talked about any lowrider or anything in Los Angeles, you remember who was classified as white and who fought to be classified as white in 1930. So when you look this up and you see that the movie actually talks about desegregation of an inner city in Los Angeles, you have to remember who came here and was classified as what and integrated into whom's neighborhood. And please don't forget and remember, a lot of our people were pushed south because they no longer could afford the neighborhood because of whom coming into our neighborhoods. And that's called gentrification. You know that, right? Okay, I just wanted to make that clear. But this is what their president says. So if you're claiming anything from the 1930s, you have to claim what you're classified as.